We are continuing the reading of Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 7, text number 10, the knowledge of the Absolute. Bijamam sababhutanam vidipata sanatanam buddhim buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinam Bijam, the seed, mam, me, savabhutanam, of all living entities, Vidi, try to understand, Palta, O son of Pritha, Sanatanam, original, eternal, Buddhi, intelligence, Buddhimatam, of the intelligent, Ashmi, I am, Tejaha, prowess, Tejasvinam, of the powerful, Aham, I am. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Bijam means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. There are various living entities, movable and inert. Birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. Every living entity is contained within the scope of 8.4 million species of life. Some of them are moving, and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in Vedic literature, Brahman, or the Supreme Absolute Truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Para-Brahman, the Supreme Spirit. Brahman is impersonal, and Para-Brahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect. That is stated in Bhagavad-Gita. Therefore, originally, Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, Nitya Nityana Chetasa Chetananam Eko Bahonam Yo Vidadati Kaman. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities. And He alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence. And Krishna also says that He is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Bijamam savabhutanam vidipata sanatanam buddhi buddhimatam ashmi tejas tejasvinam aham. I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. So here Krishna is saying that he is the seed-giving father of all living entities. Bijamam Savabhutanam. Bij means the seed. So Krishna is saying here that he is the seed of everything, both moving and not moving. So he is the source of everything. Bhagavad-Gita, as we all know, is the science of God, because the Supreme Lord personally instructing his dear devotees about the science, the supreme science of the science of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad means God, and the Gita means the song of God. So Krishna is the speaker of the Bhagavad-Gita, and Arjuna is the hearer, is listening. Pata. There's a very famous verse in the Gita Mahatmya whereby it says that the Bhagavad-Gita, that Krishna is compared to the cow, is the maker of the cow. Savo Panishadu Gavo. This is Savo Panishadu Gavo. Dugda Gopalanandana. Let's see. This is from the Gita Mahatmya, which was composed by Sankaracharya. So he said, Savopanishadu Gabo, Dugdam Gopalanandana, Pato Vatsa Sudi Bhokta, Dugdam Gita Mitan Mahat. This Bhagavad-Gita, Gita Upanishad, the essence of all the Upanishads, is the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad-Gita. So the Supreme Lord himself spoke this science, and that's why all the Sampradayas, all the Vaishnava Sampradayas, including Sankaracharya, they commented on the Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita, it has the most commentaries of any other scriptures. Practically, apart from the Sampradaya Acharyas, even many gurus, swamis, and everyone has commented on Bhagavad-Gita. Even politicians, they've made their commentaries on Bhagavad-Gita. Of course, they may give a wrong interpretation, but they also make a comment on the Bhagavad-Gita. Like the famous Dr. Radhakrishna, I think was India president before. So he also commented on the Bhagavad-Gita. But they make a wrong interpretation by trying to twist Krishna's word. When Krishna says something, they say, oh, no, maybe Krishna, this is what Krishna meant to say. So basically, unless one is a devotee of Krishna, one cannot really give a proper interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita. And that's why when Srila Prabhupada went to America, before that, there are Bhagavad Gita in America. There are quite a few publications, quite a few translations were there. But these translations, because they were translated by non-devotees, they never make a single devotee of Krishna. Whereas Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, because he was a Krishna's dear devotee, he didn't go to twist Krishna's word. He wanted to present Krishna's word as it is. So therefore, millions and millions of people become devotees of Krishna. And that's why many Western devotees from all over the world, they all come to India because of Srila Prabhupada's perfect presentation of the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, being a science of God, this book, great book, the essence of all Vedic scriptures, is divided into three parts. There are three sections of the Bhagavad Gita which deal with karma, gyan, and bhakti. So these are the three sections of the Gita: karma, jnana, and bhakti. So the first 6 chapters dealing with karma, in terms of the activities that one has to do. Karma niyavadhikarastes. Karma niyavadhikarastes. Mafalesukaracha. Krishna is speaking like this to Bhagavad, is speaking like this to Arjuna. So there are many instances like this, whereby Krishna is telling Arjuna that one must perform in activities, but one should not become attached to the activities. Perform your activities, but don't be attached to them, so that you can eventually attain liberation. So the first 6 chapters dealing with karma. Then the last 6 chapters, from chapter 13 to chapter 18, is dealing with gyan, knowledge. The knowledge, of course, this is the transcendental knowledge, of course, whereby one can understand the supreme reality. One can understand the composition of this material world, and the three modes of material nature, the different types of living entities, those who are demoniac and those who are devotees. So this all explained. This is called these 6 chapters, the Gyan from chapter 13 to chapter 18. So this is Gyan. But, however, the most confidential part of the Bhagavad-Gita is kept in the middle of the Gita, because what is most confidential is always hidden. It's always hidden. Only those who are very, very shrewd, those who are very who have a very deep intellect, that can actually try to understand what is most confidential. The most confidential of the Gita are the middle 6 chapters, which is chapter 7 to chapter 12, which is dealing with bhakti. So this 6 chapters dealing with bhakti. So from chapter 7 to chapter 12, we get to learn about the science of bhakti. Now, to know bhakti, to have bhakti itself has 3 different components of bhakti. There are 3 different components of bhakti by which a person can really come to meet the Supreme Lord face to face, by which a person can really understand, to develop in terms of the eternal relationship that is there between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. So the 3 components of bhakti are Sambandha, Abhidehi, and Prayojan. Sambandha is our relationship, the knowledge of who we are, knowledge of who is God, who are we, and what is our relationship with Him. This is called Sambandha. When you study Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 20 to chapter 24, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had instructed Sanatana Goswami about the science of bhakti based on these 3 principles. Based on this knowledge of the Sambandha in terms of the relationship, what binds us to God, to Krishna, is the Sambandha. And then, when this knowledge is understood, when we know who we are, who is God, when we understand that, yes, God is always God, and we always live entities, Jiva is always Jiva, and the living entities can never become God. Even though sometimes, from time to time, the Lord may incarnate Himself and take the form of a human being. Sometimes He takes the form of other species of life. Not all human beings. The Lord became a fish, a Matsya avatar. He became a tortoise, Kuma avatar. He became a lion, half man, half lion, Nrsingadev. He became a horse, Hyagrava. So the Lord have taken so many forms in different species of life. But he can do that, but we human beings, but we the living entities can never take the form of God. You see? If we think that we can become God, that's a big illusion. You know, the Mayavadis, they will say that, oh, just meditate and then you can become God. But you can keep on meditating, but you can never become God. You may kid yourself that now I become God, now I'm a God now. Now I become God. You become God, but you don't really have control over everything. You don't even have control even over yourself. Because the moment the call of nature comes, you have to go to the bathroom. So what God have you become? So the living entities can never become God. The living entity is always a servant of God. Jivira Swarup Ho Krishna Nityadas. This is the essential teaching of Mahaprabhu. That the Jivas, they have an eternal nature as being a servant of God. So in the beginning here, in the chapter 7 here, the Lord is teaching about the science of relationship. The Lord in the beginning is describing, is making a distinction between himself and all living entities. First of all, the Lord said, he said, Bijamam Savabhutanam. He said, I am the seed of all living entities. Also in the chapter 15 also, the Lord also repeat this also. He said, Aham Vidi, what is that in the chapter 15, whereby the Lord is saying, first of all, he said, okay, where's this verse? Okay, here the Lord said, he said, Mamai vaso jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatanam, mama mana sastanindriyani prakriti stani kashati. He said, the living entities in this world, conditioned world, they are my eternal fragmented parts. So the Krishna said that the Lord is, he said, every living entity is my part. I'm the seed-giving father of all living entities. And of course now the Lord is the seed of all living entities. All living entities are coming from him. But at the same time, the Lord has got a nature. His nature is Sachi Ananda. He has his eternal form, which is always blissful. It's always full of happiness. But why the living entities are suffering if they are part of God? Why are they suffering? These are the questions. If I'm part of God, why so much trouble of life always coming upon me? If I'm actually part of God. But the Lord is saying here, he said, Mana Sastanindriyani Prakriti Shtani. He said that, why are you struggling in life? Why are you struggling this? Because you've become conditioned due to conditional life. Because of conditional life, so what happened? Karasati means to struggle. So you are struggling with the material energy due to the conditional life. And what is the source of this condition? The source of the condition is that you are thinking that you are the enjoyer. You are thinking that you are the controller. You are the Lord of all you can survey. This is the mentality of everyone in this material world. This is due to, of course, this is due to illusion, because everyone is covered by Maya, because the Jiva, they belong to Tatastha Shakti, the imaginary energy of God, of Krishna. That's what the Jiva belong to, Tatastha Shakti. So the Jiva, being to Tatastha Shakti, he has a choice, either to choose the spiritual energy or to choose the material energy. The Jiva that chooses the material energy, the spiritual energy, they worship God, they worship Krishna, and they are able to be in the spiritual world with the Lord. And those Jiva, they don't have a wrong identity. They never think that they are the controller, they are the enjoyer. No, they always know themselves to be eternal servant of Krishna, of God. But the other living entities who look the other way, this is called a Bhayamukha Jiva. A Bhayamukha Jiva means those who look the other side, the extend the other side. They look towards Maya. At the moment they look towards the material energy, immediately Maya Devi catches them. She catches them and then she binds them with the rope, with the rope of illusion, whereby these three roads, which consists of Tamagun, Rajagun, and Satyagun. So the Jiva, living entity, forget who he is and trying to make the most in this crazy material world. So therefore, due to conditioned life, as the Lord says here, so the living entities is, how to struggle from one life after the other life, from one life after the other, and also in different species of life that the living entities have to struggle. And there's no way out. There is no way out. Once one is caught by the material energy, he can never get free until the person comes to his senses. Until the person comes to realize that actually, why am I suffering? I'm suffering because I am thinking myself to be what I'm not. That's why I'm suffering. So that's why when Sanatana Goswami, when he approached Chaitanya Prabhu in Varanasi, they was asking the Lord, my Lord, everyone thinking that I'm a very scholarly person. Everybody thinking that I'm a big pandit. Because Sanatana Goswami, he was the prime minister of the kingdom of King Hussein Shah of Bengal that time. He was a very, very highly intelligent person. He knows so many languages, Parsi, Persian language, Arabic, and Sanskrit, of course. Many languages that he knows. So very, very highly intelligent, very, very highly learned person. But Sanatana Goswami is telling Mahaprabhu, he said that this is the problem now I'm having now. That I am thinking myself to be so learned because everyone praising me to be a very learned person. But, however, what kind of learning have I got when I don't even know myself? I don't even know who am I. I don't even know why 3-4 miseries are always giving me troubles. So what kind of intelligence is that? I'm actually the most foolish person. So, and of course, so he made this plea to Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu gave him the instruction that yes, you as a jiva, you are eternal spirit soul, and you are eternally part of Krishna. You are Krishna Das. You are a servant of Krishna. There is no other qualification. So the Lord is saying here that Bijaman Savabhutanam, I'm the seed-giving father of all living entities, then Vidipata Sanatanam. He's telling Arjuna to understand that Buddhimatam Ashmi. This is Buddhi means intelligence. Buddhima means someone who is learned. So the Lord said, I am the intelligence of the I'm the intelligence of the intelligent. Yeah, the intelligence of the intelligent. He said, I am the one, which means whatever knowledge there may be in this material world, I am the source of it. I am the cause of that knowledge. So which means that, knowledge is there, but it's by this knowledge by which we can understand ourselves, by cultivating real knowledge, in this case the transcendental knowledge. This is by which we can understand in who we are as a servant of God. But if we don't utilize our God-given intelligence to understand our identity, then we are simply beasts, animals. Which is that the Dvijpada, which is that Dvijpada pursue that two-legged animals, Dvipadaprashu means two-legged animals. So a person who does not want to understand who he is, who does not want to understand his relationship with God, even though he may have two legs, even though he may be whatever, he's not better than an animal. So it's called a Dvipadaprashu, because one has misused the form of human life. One has misused it. So the Lord said, I am the prowess of all powerful men. Actually, this whole chapter 7, up to chapter 8, and by the time we get to chapter 10, whereby the Lord continuously describing himself, continuously describing who he is, and what is his actual relationship, in what way is he actually, in every intricate manner, is the main component of every living entity. So this is all part of Sambandha Gyan, by which one should make endeavor to understand. Because unless we make endeavor to understand this nature, this relationship we have with God, with Krishna, the components of that nature, unless we're able to understand it, then we cannot really render bhakti. Because there is Sambandha, there is Abhidai, and then there is Prayojan. Sambandha means the relationship. And then once we know our relation, once we know who we are, then the next one is Abhidai. Abhidai means the activity. In this case, the devotional service, the bhakti. We are able to render bhakti when we know who we are, and when we understand that, yes, I have a particular relationship with Krishna. So what should I do? What is my duty in this particular relationship? So therefore, a competent guru, spiritual master, will instruct us, will guide us on how to render service according to a specific relationship that we have with Krishna. And then the perfection of that service, of course, is called Prayojan. Prayojan means when we're able to develop, love of God. That is the ultimate, goal of life. So, continuing on this, in the writings of the Acharya, they were talking about how a person can understand himself. So, in this particular one here, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna how he is the basis of everything, and everything is coming from him. So from Brihad Arayaka Upanishad is mentioned, Asya Mahato Bhutasya Nishvasitam Eta Rigvedo Yajurveda Sama Vedata Vangirasa Itiasaha Paramam Vidya Upanishada Sloka Sutrani Anovyakyani Savani Nishvasitani. So the proof, there's what we call Amnaya. Amnaya means the proof. It says that from the Supreme Person's breath, from his breathing, came the four Vedas, the four Vedas, the histories, the Puranas, the Upanishads, the verses and sutras, and all the commentaries. The word Purana refers to the 18 major Puranas, of which Bhagavatam is supreme, and 18 secondary Puranas, Upa Puranas. And Upanishad, we have the 11 Upanishads, such as Isha, Kena, Kata, Prashna, and so on. Many verses are there in the Vedas, such as Rig, Yajo, Samaveda. Sutra refers to the concise statement which explain the meaning of the Vedas written by major teachers. So these are the various components which instructing us about the truth of the Lord. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had made a composition of how to understand in terms of ourselves, judging from the Sambandha all the way to Prayojan. So he had composed a prayer, a verse actually. So in this verse he has said, Amnaya Prahatachun Arim Hiya Paraman Sabashaktin Rashabdim Tabid Nansan Sajivan Prakriti Kavalitan Tavimuktan Chababat Beda Beda Prakashan Sakalam Apiare Sadana Sudam Bhaktim Sadhan Tapitim Ebitu Padishati Janam Gora Chandra Swayansaha. So the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, so he has taught 10 principles. He taught 10 principles to the jivas. So the statement of the proof by which statement whereby there are 10 topics which are taught. This proof, which are based on the scriptures, that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. Krishna is endowed with all energies. Krishna is the ocean of rasa. The jivas are all separated parts of the Lord. It's Beda, it's called Beda Prakash. In conditioned state, the jivas are under the influence of matter due to their tatashta nature, because the jiva is coming from the marginal potency. So therefore the jiva, they become bound. Now in the liberated state, the jivas are free from the influence of matter due to their tatashta nature. So as I explained initially that because the jivas belong to the tatashta nature, so some able to choose the spiritual energy, while some jivas choose the material energy. The jivas at the material world are both different from and identical to the Lord. So the jivas, one sense, it's called Beda Bed. The jivas, they are one with the Lord, but at the same time also they are also different from the Lord. So Beda Bed, so it's called Beda Bed Prakash. They are one, but at the same time also they are different. Because the jiva, they have spiritual energy of the Lord. So they have the same quality of the Lord, but not quantity. So the same quality means the jiva is eternal. It's a spiritual energy. It's like a fire. It's always there. But in a very, very minute way, the jiva is always minute, whereas the Lord is vibhu, means big, always remain as he is. The jiva can never become God. And then, pure devotion is the practice of the jivas. The pure devotion, this is Abhidayi. The pure devotion is the practice of the jivas. And pure love of Krishna is the goal of life. So pure love of Krishna is the goal. So these verses are composed, and then with the eighth principle is talking about the identity of the jiva, the identity of the Supreme Lord. And then the ninth principle is talking about the Abhidayi, the activities of the jiva who have realized their eternal nature with the Lord. And then the success of that activity is the pure devotion, the prem, Krishna prem, love of God. That is the success of the activity, but that one performed. So this teaching goes on. There's one wonderful book which had been written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This book is called Dasamula Tattva. And this tattva, which means the essential truth of the jiva, the essential truth of the Supreme Lord, and also the essential truth of the truth of the relationship that the Lord is there. Also in the Bhagavatam, also in the chapter 9 and 10 of the Bhagavatam. So Lord Krishna is teaching Lord Brahma. Lord Krishna taught Lord Brahma. He said, Aham, It starts with aham. Aham means I. So I don't have the verse, I don't have the book with me here. This is in the chapter 10 of the second canto of the Bhagavatam, whereby Lord Krishna telling Arjuna that in the beginning is me, before any living entities are manifested, I exist. And then, during the manifestations of all the living entities, I exist. And after the dissolution of all the living entities, when all the living entities are wiped out, when they are withdrawn into the supreme, into the combined aspect, I continue to exist. So the Lord said, before the beginning, during the manifestation, and after the end, it's me who remains. So also in the Upanishad, it's also mentioned that it's a Sa Akshita, it's a Bahu Shem, like when the Lord desire, let there be living entities, then the living entities come into being. Which he said when he desire it. So which means the Lord is always there in himself, he's always there enjoying himself, but sometimes he desires that there should be living entities. So when he desires that, then the living entities come. So unlimited living entities, they become generated. And then, according to his own desire, also, he can withdraw everything, all at once. It's just like a spider, the spider produces, and then again, it can wind up everything, within itself. So the Supreme Lord is manifesting the living entities. And then according to his own sweet will, is again withdrawing them. Of course, this we should understand that the living entities, they are there eternally because everyone has got a distinct identity. But in the dormant stage, all the living entities, they remain within the body of the Lord. Because at the end of the universe, when everything is to be destroyed, so all the living entities, they all enter into the body of Vishnu, and they will remain in the sleepy stage for billions and billions of years. And again, in another day of Brahma, when it's time for another creation, so the living entities, they again come out of the body of Vishnu, and they again come out and assume different bodies according to their previous karmas, which has been left behind in the previous manifestation. So in this way, the material world is always going on. Material world itself is eternal, but it's eternal in the unmanifest stage. But sometimes it becomes manifest, but that manifestation is temporary, because we should not, because the Mahavadi, they say that everything, only Jiva is eternal, but the material energy is not. But no, the Vaishnava scriptures do not agree to that. The Vaishnava scriptures say that the living entities, the material world is also eternal, but in the unmanifest stage, material world in the element, because the element are the element. This is the Lord's energy. Is Maya Shakti. It's Bhairanga Shakti. But that Shakti of the Lord is eternal. But the manifestation of it is temporary. That's the temporary aspect of it. But the actual energy itself is always eternal. So the Jiva themselves, they also eternal. So when the Jiva, because they're in the Tatastha nature, those who are not who choose to be in the material world, so sometimes they are manifest and sometimes they are not manifest. Whereas those eternally free jivas in the spiritual worlds, they are always there eternally. They don't become bound by the material energy. So there's a lot to be learned from this chapter 7, whereby the Lord is talking about himself. This talk also continues in chapter 8. And then chapter 9, the Lord talks about his devotees. The Lord talks about the happiness of the devotees. That chapter 9 is such a, and then chapter 10, the laws again. First 4, it talks, there are like 4 key verses of the Bhagavad-Gita. And then the Lord again talks about himself, about his different energy. He is the sun, he is this, he is that. So many things that the Lord is talking about. So, and then this goes to like chapter 11, when Arjuna, having realized this, asked to see the Lord's universal form. And the Lord showed him the universal form. Because Arjuna really wanted to know, my Lord, you say you're in everything. Show me how you're in everything. Show me how you have manifested yourself, how you have spread yourself. I want to see that universal form of yours. So Lord Krishna displays universal form, and Arjuna saw it. So, Bhagavad-Gita is such a wonderful scriptures. And that's why Sankaracharya said that Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat, that the great devotees, they relish, hearing Bhagavad-Gita. The great devotees, they relish hearing it. Because this is the spoken word of the Lord himself. The Lord spoke it. And this Bhagavad-Gita, no matter how many times you read it, you will never be tired of reading. I've never seen anyone who says, I'm tired of reading Bhagavad-Gita. And many of us, we have been reading the Gita, for a long period of time. But every time we read it, something new is always coming. It's always coming, correct? It's always something new. Even though we've read it several times, still something new is always coming. Is this? The Lord is saying this? Okay, thank you very much. So, is there any question? So I did not prepare myself for this class because I was called 2 hours before the class. Come and give the Gita class. I said, anyway, I cannot refuse. But anyway, if I say something, it will be the Lord's own mercy. So, any question or comment? Yeah.
One question. You mentioned that the Bhagavad-Gita is split into 3 sections. And what is the order? Is it Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga?
Actually, it's Karma Yoga, the first 6 chapters. Bhakti Yoga, the middle 6 chapters. And Jnana Yoga, the last 6 chapters. So, Bhakti Yoga is in the middle, from chapter 7 to chapter 12. It's all about Bhakti Yoga. And the chapter 1 to 6 is about Karma Yoga. And chapters 13 to 18, it's Jnana Yoga. Gyan. That's the division. Is it any other point?
You mentioned Samudaya, Videya, Prayojana. Videya, activities, devotion service.
Yeah.
Just example for Videya, Bhagavad-Gita 14th chapter 26th sloka. Mamchayo Vyadi Charena bhakti-yoga sevati sadhana samvitedam brahma bhuyaya kalpati.
Yeah.
One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Vrindavan.
Yeah.
So, Abdeya, that is, if we do devotional service regularly, we can come to the level of Vrindavan.
Yeah, of course. One day, just like the last instruction of the Gita, whereby Lord Krishna told Arjuna, he says, Dhamma Parityaya Mame Kansvanam Vraja, that, give up everything and just come to me alone, surrender unto me alone. So this is what Lord Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is what Lord Krishna, told Arjuna, he said, give up all the Dhamma, whatever it is, just come to me alone. And then, of course, the 4 key verses of the Bhagavad-Gita, which is chapter 10, texts 8 to 11. These are the 4 Chatusloki of the Bhagavad-Gita. And if you can look at it, whereby this point is being reiterated, chapter 10 text, which starts from, what was that verse? Ahan Savasha Prabhavo, Matasa Prabhantate, Itima Tobajanti, my Buddha Bhava Samavita, whereby the Lord saying that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So this is the key here, whereby the Lord is saying that I am the source of everything. Everything is coming from me. And then the next one, he's talking about the Bhava Bhakti here. Machita Magata Prana, Buddha Yanta Parasparan, Katayan Sarchama Nitya, Tushanti Charamanticha. This is the sentiment of great devotees, because great devotees, they always engage in the worship of the Lord, and they worship the Lord in great love. Not just in ordinary worship, it's not a conditional worship, but they worship the Lord in their heart of hearts. So therefore, the Lord says, Ramanticha means they get transcendental pleasure, from doing this. So, and then the Lord talked about the ecstasy of the devotees in the next text. Teyasan Satayuktana Bhajata Praviti Purvakam. The Dhamma Buddha Yaganta Yenama Upayantite. Those who constantly engage, who are serving me in Bhava Bhakti. This is we're talking about Bhava Bhakti here. To them, so the Lord, they always remain with the Lord. Actually, the Lord cannot remain separate from those devotees. And sometimes those devotees, they may feel some kind of intense separation from the Lord. So here the Lord says, those kind of devotees, I give them the understanding so that they don't feel that they are separate from me. They don't feel themselves, they don't feel a neglect. Actually, when we study these verses, taking the guidance of the acharyas, there are different deep interpretation that we can get from these 4 verses. This just like we have four verses of the Bhagavatam, we also have the 4 verses of the Bhagavad-Gita. And just by understanding those 4 verses alone, we can understand the whole entire Bhagavad-Gita. So the devotees, they're able to understand Bhagavad-Gita. They're able to understand. But non-devotees, they will always have difficulty to understand. So, of course, Krishna told Arjuna, he said, I'm speaking to you. Why? Because you are my devotee. So therefore, Krishna told Arjuna that I'm speaking to you. And on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, only, the Pandavas, because they are devotees of the Lord, so they understood the Bhagavad Gita. And then Bhishma maybe understand Bhagavad Gita. Now, when the Lord was speaking, he was speaking on the battlefield. Everybody was listening. He was in the center of both the camps, the Kauravas and the Pandavas in Kurukshetra. And the Lord, he has a very deep voice. When Krishna speaks, the whole world hears. He has a deep voice. So when he was speaking Bhagavad Gita, everybody was hearing on the battle of Kurukshetra. But after speaking Bhagavad Gita, nobody surrendered to Krishna. Only the Pandavas, they know Krishna because the Lord said, I want you to do this fight because I want you as my instrument. So they engage the fight because they're engaging as the Lord's, as the Lord's servant. But all others, because if they understand the Bhagavad Gita, everybody will just lay their arms. Oh, Bhagavan is here, no more fighting. But no, they were not. Because they are not devotees. So how could they understand what the Lord was saying? That's why he was saying that even if the non-devotees see Krishna, they will not surrender. That's why so many demons, they were fighting with him. Many demons were fighting with Krishna because they don't know who Krishna was. That's why they were fighting with Krishna. But devotees will, when they see their Lord, they will enter into deep ecstasy. That, oh, dear Lord. So, anyway, we can talk on and on, Any other comments? Points? Anyway, thank you very much. So by Slaprabhu's mercy, we're able to be here. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gopi Minande. Hare Krishna.